Expats Episode 5's perspective change introduced a new focus different from anything shown before in the Amazon Prime Video series, but the shift also made two characters appear particularly worse than before. The storm caused by the typhoon and the day off of various domestic workers only briefly mentioned before in Expats characterized every aspect of Episode 5, which shifted the focus from Margaret, Mercy, and Hillary to Essie, Pori, and their social circles. While previous episodes might have discussed Margaret and Hillary's relationship with their helpers, Expats Episode 5 brought Essie and Pori's lives and wishes to the forefront. Expats Episode 5 not only showed Essie and Pori's sides in their interactions with Margaret and Hillary, but it also finally painted them as complete characters with their support systems, wishes, and feelings. Expats Episodes 1 to 4 showed various facets of Margaret's pain in losing Gus, but it never shared how impactful it was for Essie. Expats Episode 5 finally revealing how the ordeal devastated Essie due to her close bond with Gus did her justice, underlining another important character in Gus's life that was shattered by the tragedy despite feeling like she had no right to do so. Margaret and Hillary trampling Essie and Pori's wishes makes them way less likable. The absence of boundaries gives more to Margaret and Hillary, hurting Essie and Pori. Ruby Ruiz as Essie and Aimlin Pardinilla as Pori in Expats Episode 5. The 1 hour and 40 minutes episode managed to introduce Essie and Pori's lives and wishes outside their jobs, but it also doubled down on their innermost feelings. By letting the two catch up and explore Essie's prospects and feelings about what happened with Gus, Expats Episode 5 finally humanized them in a way it didn't in previous episodes because they were always discussed from Margaret and Hillary's perspectives. This also showed how Margaret and Hillary were viewed as more than employers from Essie and Pori's POVs, which ended up benefiting Margaret and Hillary while simultaneously hurting Essie and Pori. While Margaret and Hillary's relationships with Essie and Pori were seemingly more personal, the power disparity was evident. Pori's domestic worker acquaintances warned her not to consider Hillary her friend, but Pori didn't have the freedom not to do so when Hillary basically forced her to drink with her because of David upsetting Hillary. Similarly, Margaret's wish to involve Essie in their move back to the US might have continued Essie's employment, but she also never asked Essie if she wished to follow them or instead return to her family before springing the plan on her after an emotional talk. Expats' focus on Essie and Pori makes the domestic workers more realistic than in the book. The expatriates would still filter their different perspectives through Mercy. Expanding on the lives of characters like Expats Essie and Pori made the Amazon series more balanced than the expatriates, where the domestic workers were solely mentioned in relation to their work or their oversights. In the book, only Mercy's POVs shared more about Hong Kong locals and domestic workers, and even then, their stories weren't personalized, despite describing clearly how their experiences in Hong Kong greatly differed from the expats. Expats Episode 5's focus on Essie and Pori thus made the show more enriching as it offered a nuanced depiction of multiple characters, not just Margaret, Hillary, or Mercy.